Well, welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and I'm back at Day and White for part 4 of the Lancia Zagato rebuild. There it is on the stand, it's Move stand. There's a really shiny 1600 HF. We might have a quick look at that one. That's almost Concours standard. Well, it is Concours standard. Not quite the standard we're trying to get to this, but big changes since I was last here. Lots to show you on the bodywork. There's been a lot of work, positive work, putting pieces back on and discovering no more rust and things like that. And then we're actually going to, the engine build is underway, and we're at the stage that they've left one piston out, so I could just see that going in as well. So what I'm going to do first is show you around the body, and we can see all the changes they've managed to do on that since I was last here. I don't know, it's about 3-4 weeks ago. Good to see you again, Gordon. Wow, you've been busy. I can't believe how different this car now looks.
Thankfully we started to go forwards rather than backwards, which is a nice change.
Thank goodness. Uber shiny here.
Well, we've stripped. We had to get back to the bare metal and see what we're playing with. Obviously this side was all compromised. What we've done now, we've had the fabricated panels as they should be in the lower section. We've tidied everything else up, which is what we'll be doing all over the car.
This is a new panel.
That's a brand new panel, fabricated, which is an insert, and that's how it sits.
Oh, yeah, because this was a sort of patchwork of metal here, wasn't it? All sorts of things.
Exactly, and it's layer over layer. And so we'll take all that back, tidy the bit, put bits in, clean them back, and you've got a bit more. You can see the original metal, which is far better.
Oh wow! Oh, actually, right.
And once you take all the actual surfaces off, and you've got to take it off because you do get the surface corrosion, which can all be treated. Yeah. But you have to take it back, otherwise you end up with the corrosion coming back through.
Yeah.
Even the engine bay.
So you've done the engine bay as well.
Wow. It's nice to actually see how the metal work that's there.
This is a bit of before, isn't it?
This is what you're left with when you take the actual underseal off. But again, we can work with that to get it like the other side. We'll be cutting this out, and this panel will be going in, tidying the metal work that's here, looking over it.
Just looking at this, where did it? Did this leave Lancia there?
Yeah, that would be Lancia. This would have been inserted
there.
Interesting though, because it still has the shape of this, but this shape's too far down, so it's quite strange how that comes in. This would have been original. It would have been sealed to the inner wing, because that's what they did. Yeah,
you were saying that, because this is tacked on. There's a bit of metal here. It's now, I think, there.
They would have sealed them.
So they were never welded to the wing here?
Because originally there were aluminium wings, and then of course you had the steel frames, and they really didn't have a way of bonding it together, so they did originally put the sealer in, and because Fiat took over, they thought, well, it worked, let's just put the sealer on and keep it tied together.
I can't get over that, because should we just have a look at this one? This is an Uber one that you redid.
Yes.
How long ago was this
Probably
one?
18 months finished. And this was, it was a pretty good original example, but this is what we were effectively going with. The same thing, everything's been off, engine's being rebuilt, but the good thing about this is it's a good original engine in the first place. And so it's a freshen up, very much an engine part.
That's lovely.
Quite a unique example.
I mean, it's mega. But if you look at the wheel arch, we were just looking at the same bit we were looking at.
Yeah, exactly. So this is effectively how, before the underseal goes on, we're left, you see the lower panel, it's that fabricated panel that goes down here. Yeah. How it sits slightly proud, and obviously the wheel arch and everything else, and you can see how the sheet metal comes on the inside.
Yeah, but what I can't get over this is a sort of weld going on here anyway. So this is sort of as it left Zagato. So it's not straightforward. It's not like a perfect wing pressing.
Nothing's ever sort of.
No, it's
quite what it seems. So you know, but I mean, again, this was an original one. It had very light work done to it.
Yeah, just mega. Anyway, back to the scene of the crime. This thing. The other thing, the floor. Yeah. I have no floors. Yeah. So they're out.
In a sill structure, which was
and a new sill. Yeah. That's just lovely. Oh, the floor. Look at the floor that you cut out.
We took out
Look how many layers.
I know, and a fair amount of weight on that, which is a bit unnecessary.
Yeah.
There should be just 2 sub layers like this which come to it. So
there is a 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But not how it was in there.
And then of course the new floor pan will then sit on the top of this under the structure, because this is not good.
That's brilliant.
The sill's obviously now been fabricated and welded in,
Yeah.
which is fine. The nice thing was the outer sill has been changed.
That has, right,
Yeah,
so it had strength there, it's just the inside sill that was knackered.
It was never done properly.
Where's the floors then? What you're putting back in?
These are the new floors. But yeah, so
I
that's
see.
been fabricated as original, and that'll be coming into this on one side.
I'm just, am I being a bit thick? How do you get the double thickness, or isn't there a double thickness
On
once
this?
you replace it?
No. It's only in the front floors where you have the
it's
two
just where it
layers.
joins.
Yeah, so one joins as like an inner and an outer.
Oh, I see.
So this effectively comes together.
Right.
So this one we've brought it together already.
I see. And then you have the one panel floor going in.
This is where you'd have the sort of throttle pedal, clutch pedal as you see it. And then of course you get an outer skin for the floor to go onto. So this is then joins together.
Okay.
So there's like an inner and outer which you can see from the front.
Yeah.
So it's like the front engine bay hub, and then you have the tub of it. And
I see.
Joins to the body itself.
Right.
In fact, this actually
Brilliant.
goes up and down. You see it flex.
God.
So that's got to be careful how that meets this.
Right. Add the strength there.
Yes.
And then at the back, you've been pretty
the back
busy
end,
here.
Again, we've stripped it all back to original. This is what you're left with. So this has been all taken off, and then we have rust treated the area itself. Again, really good metal. And then this is epoxymastic primer which we put on to hold it before we'd actually put any sort of the stone chipping on afterwards.
Right.
But just to bring it, just because we're starting to move forwards. That's the important thing.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's really nice. That's all original metal.
Yeah, and inside you'll see.
I know. I
can't
can't get over it. Yeah. There's all original metal, all shiny metal, ready to be
and
to that same treatment, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah.
That's right.
And you've hung the suspension as well.
Yeah, the rear leaf springs and the hangers, all gone on, new bushes, and also these upper bushes that are in here are all shot, so they've been replaced. Just offer it all up to make sure it's all sound and goes together.
That's brilliant.
I mean, this could be fabricated later on, but the point is the rest of it is starting to get to a position that starts to look right and be right.
Yeah. Well, we're adding so much more strength as well from all those front bits as well.
It's nice to see some decent metal. It's all bad. It's just how it's been covered up.
Yeah. No, that's really good.
The doors are all off.
Yes.
Boot lids, bonnet, and they've all gone away to be. We're going to soda blast them because there's so much stuff on it.
Yeah.
And make good sense. And of course, removing the doors. Unfortunately, something else becomes apparent. There's always something comes on. Bottom hinge has been welded in. It's a shame, really. All the others are okay, but this one's been welded in, which means there's no adjustment. We don't really want that. Even though the hinges are worn, we'd really like to get that adjustment to get once the paint's been done to get the right, especially with the panels and stuff.
So annoying. Yeah, I know it's extra work, but I think it has to be done. There's our lovely new sill. The white, you were saying this is the finish from Lancia.
Yeah, interesting because and some say that the predominantly Zagatos did come white before they were sort of put together. But interesting, there's still some welding work you can see that's done.
Yeah, we're looking down here, aren't you? There's the weld there that you think was potentially factory. That's factory floor. So this
is factory floor. That's how it was.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, it is the trouble, isn't it, when you're dealing with a sort of hand-built, coach-built type car.
That's it. It's coach-built.
It's not the same. But I can't. Yeah, I can't get over how that's improved there. There's that one patch you just put in, you can already see it now. There was that hole showing there last time, wasn't there?
That's right.
But that's all proper metal. That's really good. That's really good. But you've got some other bits that have come back as well.
Thankfully some other bits and pieces have turned up, which is great. All the wishbones and stuff, suspension lines have been soda blasted, treated, epoxymastic primer, and now powder coated, and looking far better than they were.
Yes.
Obviously ready for the ball joints. I mean, we're keeping a lot, but still covered up inevitably.
Yeah.
The servo, new masts and servo's been stripped, cleaned, reassembled.
Yeah.
Carburetors are back.
Look at them.
Look at these.
Look at them. Look at those.
Fantastic
come from my
job.
shed. How many years they're in my shed, and now look at them.
Just to show the sort of things that can be done.
That is fabulous.
Exactly. Proper job. New service kits have been installed.
Absolutely fabulous.
But yeah, and they've come up lovely. Calipers same, stripped, overhauled, put back.
Yeah. That's
correct colours.
So, right, 4-pot calipers on the front.
That's right.
The brakes were good on it. I'm not surprised looking at those.
I know.
That's a lot of braking for a little car
they weren't
like
originally,
this.
they were rubbish, and they introduced these, and it's great. We've got individual brake hoses, so there's 5 brake hoses on it, feeding them individually, which is way ahead of the time.
Must be.
considering what's going on.
Yeah, no, they're proper brakes.
No, exactly.
And then,
right,
just the hand-built radiator.
Radiator,
Look at
properly
that.
made, none of your Chinese rubbish, sorry. I don't want to offend anyone.
But literally made to order, that one.
Well, yeah, because also it's the spaces we want around those carburetors. They can get a bit tight.
Right.
So we have these made. It's just a far better job.
That's
Lovely
fantastic.
thing which it comes to.
Yeah.
Some new bushes are in. These are all the bolts we've had obviously sent
all
away and
painted. Yeah.
all coated.
Brilliant.
I don't know if you've seen this.
No, I haven't yet.
Right, so this is, look,
That's the
how it
sun.
comes back. And then vapor blasted.
That isn't painted then.
No.
That is literally the finish.
Yeah.
The aluminium finish.
It
Beaded.
doesn't stain either if you touch it. It's not, there's no paint.
That's mega.
I know, it's a fantastic thing.
And
Aha!
under here. Whoa.
Moving on.
Whoa. There's the missing piston. But yeah, we're going to see that being put in. God, you've got the clutch assembled as well, everything.
Yeah, clutch is assembled on. New water pump has been put on.
We saw the other
Got
time.
the little spout, your timing chain spout's been put on, but you can't see it from the turn to back. You see it
Probably see it underneath. And that's the colour of the block. That strange blue is a Lancia colour for the block then.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really can, but this is what we, where we sort of tend to see it, is this is how the Lancia blue came. And they contrast it very well with what it has. And then we have the head itself again. Just a very, very light skim. We've got your inlet manifold on, obviously the valves are all in. New guides, machine.
And these, so oversized exhaust, I mean that is a huge exhaust valve, isn't it?
You've got a 35mm exhaust valve, which is equivalent to the Group 4, and 38s of the inlets.
Right.
But yeah, so no, with the cams you've got.
And this has been skimmed slightly.
Really, really fine, yeah. It's all about the detail. You don't get to take too much off, otherwise you don't end up with very much at all.
Right.
And so no, it's more than anything else, the imperfections that come out of it. But yeah, good, really,
So
really good. You don't do it too often, so do it once.
Yeah.
And do it right.
And there's the piston we're putting in, isn't
The
it?
last one to go in. ARP bolts we use.
I'll be there in a minute. Just looking at that thing of beauty and that weird wedge on top. And do you do a dummy build? No, with the it's got clearance then on the valves.
We know the clearance is there, but what we will do is obviously set the valve timing up in the vernier. Once they're on, new chain will go on it.
New chain. You couldn't just flip the head, just have a look at the other side. So cam's not back yet, or
no, we've got the cams back.
Yeah, don't worry. I just
that won't be. We'll put them on till after.
Right. Wow. So that's right. So we're not seeing the heads get on. When John's going to come back, we'll pop that extra piston in.
Piston in, so that's tied up.
And that'll be mega. Right. Let's do that. Really fantastic. You've cracked on with the engine in big time, haven't you, since my last visit? It's now looking sort of a box of bits. We now have an engine almost.
Have you noticed that on there?
What's that?
That is a.
Oh, is that the tension?
It's a little mod.
Oh, is it?
What? Yeah.
Oh, you tap that in.
Yeah,
So you've got to
drill it and tap it. So what you do is you set it so it's about just away when it's all set up with the tension and everything. So it's just back a little bit. So if we should get knocked and go backwards the engine, you can't jump the chain.
New water pump on here. New oil pump, I'm guessing.
No, I've checked that.
It's all fine.
I checked that and rebuilt it.
Yeah, that is bored out to that size. Oh, of course it had to be, didn't it? It's 82.8, wasn't it? It was oversized. Yeah. Next thing then, put the final piston in. I'd quite like a 4-cylinder, a V4 rather than a V3.
Yep.
So yeah, crack on with that. A bit of lube. What's your top? I'm just looking. What lube's that one? 5 motor assembly grease.
You could actually run the engine for about 5 minutes on this stuff without any oil in it.
Isn't it amazing? Piston rings. I remember doing the Lamborghini. You have to get them matched when you put them in, do you? Or you're
we get
all
them
right?
sort of like third the way around, and
so the brake in the piston ring is not near another brake, isn't it?
No, that's right. Yeah.
And the wedge. The wedge goes one way.
Right, now the tricky bit.
You don't use the compressor, the piston ring compressor. You can't.
No, the compressor goes on straight.
Oh, I see. Because it's. Oh no. Bloody Lancia.
None of this one was about. You're talking about nothing straightforward.
Oh no.
Yeah. It is a strange little engine.
You just feed each one down.
Yeah.
And you have to get the next one.
How many piston rings are there?
3.
Oh.
It's the truth. Once you got one in, the next one's starting to go in.
Yeah. God, good job it's not a V12.
That's it. That's it.
Well, last one going in.
Yeah.
That's gonna.
Last piston in. Right.
I don't want to.
There we are. It's in.
Fantastic.
Right.
And every one is by hand then, isn't it? I had no idea that the piston ring pressure does not work on the Lancia. Because, yeah, they're not. You think they're going straight down those pots, but they're not. They're going at an
It's all
angle.
at an angle.
Yeah.
So you can't, it's not.
Well, you just take your time and you do each ring at a time, like John showed you.
What happens is, as it's going in, obviously one's going in, you've got to get the next one, but the following one's actually starting to go in that side.
Yes.
So it's difficult to.
Yeah, but once in. Yeah, somewhat tighter than those pistons that we took out then in their bores this time. That was so close to the edge. And here we are. Right, so there's the, can I just show that, John? So there is the big end down on there, and it's got to go onto that journal there.
Yep.
You would get in a muddle trying to rebuild this engine if you've never done one before, it strikes me.
It's when it goes wrong. I mean, you see your paperwork from the history.
Yeah.
Where people were trying to do stuff and it goes
well,
wrong.
one of the rebuilds that was done on this engine, they couldn't get it started. They tried to tow it, bump start it, all jammed up, ripped the bumper off.
Yeah.
And on that rebuild, they discovered they put a 1300 head gasket on it and covered up a whole load of oil waste. So thank goodness it didn't start, because it wouldn't have lasted very long anyway.
Absolutely.
It is a very pretty engine though.
That's lovely.
Oh, there we are. There it is. Now these are trick bolts.
Yeah, they're ARP bolts, yeah.
We even took these out to get it all cleaned inside the crank, because often they could be bunged up.
Yeah, because
Really?
you can get loads of muck inside there.
Yeah, so it was built over time and they're never done.
ARP ones,
ARP bolts.
Oh, I see. ARP, which
the competition bolts, so
Yeah.
that makes it pretty much bulletproof. Right. Cut out there.
yeah. Not that I'm going to test it, but what rev limit is there on this engine?
It's good for 7.
7, because it's quite, always got me, it's quite a torquey unit. So they're not a screaming engine.
About 3/8 bolt.
3/8. So they are an AF, aren't they?
So an AF size.
No, they're AF head.
Right. But the thread.
Metric thread from.
God.
It's an American one,
Yeah.
ARP, yes, it's American. So
Right.
like that.
I see.
Okay. Right.
That's why it's important to have that lubrication grease on it.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's all dry.
See how nice that turns over there?
That's lovely. I might have to do that. I'll go turn my engine over. What's the tricks on running this engine in?
Just drive it normally for about 20 miles, that'll do. All this careful running in, all you do is blaze the bores up.
It's funny, isn't it? There's so many theories on running in. Because I know people will say if it's going to blow up, it's going to blow up in the first 20 miles and then that's it.
Exactly. Before this bit like dropping food on the floor, it's the 5-second one.
Yeah.
But you're running in, it's a 20-minute rule.
20-minute rule. Right. Yeah. Well, that's confidence. That's lovely to see that. It really does feel as though we're coming up on this, we've
Making
gone
progress
down,
rather
we've been
than
down there. Oh my lord, how rotten is it?
I know.
But, I mean, the engine's been a sort of joy all the way along, because there hasn't been any horrid surprises
All
really.
I've got to do is obviously torque the bearings down, the big caps down, that's it now.
And then sump on and head on. Or
chain.
oh, chain, of course.
Then what we'll do, the subframe will come back, and then we'll put everything onto the subframe as a cassette. And so you'll see that all together, as it comes together before it even goes near. So once that's off, so we can load everything up, wishbone, suspension, all that stuff can go on.
I mean, it's been great to see that going in and everything. So,
good.
How many hours have you put into it? Any ideas?
I reckon we've got about 180 hours already.
180 hours to get that body to that state.
It's just unfortunately with the state of the work that's been done prior and taking it back, it's just time.
Yeah.
This stuff's straightforward. You take something off, you put it on.
Yeah.
There's no quick way to go around or take something off something, and no matter what anyone says, it's just graft.
No, we've got to paint. There's a bit of a journey to go yet, isn't there?
Yeah.
But we're going to make something pretty special. That's what I like.
No, absolutely, and it's going to be sound.
Well, thanks, guys. It's been great to revisit and see so much progress being made. It's really good.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you go. That's the update on the Lancia Zagato Part 4 finished. Lovely to see the engine going back together, and just some amazing work on the bodywork as well. Just feels though we're on the upward curve coming out of this now. I love that little engine. It's such a if you're into engineering, and it's just a different way Lancia built that V4. So I think the next update will probably be final bit on the body, then going off for paint, I would imagine. Perhaps a bit more paint coming off, and the engine and subframe and gearbox all going together. So I hope you've enjoyed this update. If you have, well, please keep watching, keep subscribing, more videos coming along very soon.